What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix movie Lost Girls. Hey, before you watch this review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Netflix for granting me the screener to this movie, which by the way had already premiered at Sundance earlier this year. Lost Girls is based on the true crime story of the Long Island serial killer. Now, have they caught the killer? No. To this day, the killer is still on the loose. So when you watch this movie, and you notice that it doesn't really have a conclusive ending, well, it's because the case is not really closed yet, obviously. But here's the thing. Lost Girls will remind you of David Fincher's 2007 thriller Zodiac. Both movies are a lot alike. The difference is, although Lost Girls does have its investigative parts, which I will break down later, this movie puts heavier emphasis on social status, class war, and calling out incompetent law enforcement. Yes, it's heartbreaking. Yes, it's dark, but dramatically, I also think that this film could have pushed itself a little further, but for whatever reason, it chooses not to. Based on Robert Kolker's nonfiction book of the same title and directed by Oscar nominee Liz Garbus, when 24-year-old Shannon Gilbert mysteriously disappears one night, her mother Mary, played by Oscar nominee Amy Ryan, goes on a dark journey to search for the truth about her daughter. A search that leads her face to face against police bias. Determined at all costs, Mary retraces Shannon's last known steps, driving her own investigation to a gated community near the desolate Outer Banks of Long Island. Her discoveries force law enforcement and the media to uncover more than a dozen unsolved murders of sex workers. The young lives that Mary will never let the world forget. Co-starring Thomasin McKenzie, Gabriel Byrne, and Lola Kirk. Just a quick interesting side note, Amy Ryan was previously Oscar nominated for her performance in the 2007 movie Gone Baby Gone, in which she played a mother of a missing girl. So now, more than a decade later, she once again plays a mother of a missing girl. Well, a young woman. You can't help but point out that little fun fact. Okay, back to the movie, Lost Girls. It's directed by Liz Garbus, who's famous for making documentary features. But I think she did a pretty good job here with this narrative feature debut by focusing the story on the emotional devastation and the obsession that a mother goes through in harrowing times such as this. You get to see the solidarity among the moms who experience the same. They band together and they stand up together against the police who couldn't care less, solely because these moms are from the community that other folks would quickly pass their judgment on from their high horses. My only disappointment is that there doesn't seem to be a moment when Amy Ryan's character Mary laments in her anguish and agony, like what Frances McDormand had with that deer in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. There are some instances here and there, especially when one of her daughters, played by Thomasin McKenzie, confronts her, but the story doesn't flesh that out. It is not really at the level that I know Amy Ryan can deliver. But again, as I said earlier, it does bear similarities to Zodiac movie, and just like Zodiac, Lost Girls also has a character that is there only for the purpose of making the audiences wonder if the killer could be him. But of course, he is nothing more than a blue balls plot device. To me, the investigative part is this movie's weakest link. But the whole thing just seems so easy to come by. Amy's character Mary would ask, "Who's the driver?" and "Where did so-and-so go?" and she would get the answers just like that. At one point, she visits a neighborhood and one of her daughters finds a piece of evidence without breaking a sweat. I mean, my goodness. At least make it a bit more challenging for them and for us, for Pete's sake. So I'll end on this note. Lost Girls is still a must-see because it shines a light on the injustices that inflict a certain group of people solely because they're in a lower income bracket. It's also a must-see because stories about resilience in the midst of tragedy are always compelling. But could this film be just a bit more extraordinary than what it is? The answer is most definitely.